Hi YouTube, this is Joe Kelton with Kelton Cutlery. Visit me on the web, keltoncutlery.com. Okay, so today we are going to do number 7 in the the Diamond Stone series. The last one was on the Husky from Home Depot, $15, dual-sided, 400 and 600 grit stone. Boy, let me tell you, that is a heck of a stone for that 15, 16 bucks. I'm really excited to see what that stone is gonna, what it's gonna settle down and end up being like. This might take quite a while, long-term testing all these stones, because boy, let me tell you, we've been seeing some really nice stones lately. I mean, that Husky, that's a really, really nice stone. I mean, and even nicer considering the low price point. The Sharp Ball, the 325 and 1200 grit, I think. Boy, that right there is a really, really nice stone. I mean, I want to say these are only like $50 too. And boy, let me tell you, that is, if that ends up being the stone that I think it's going to be, I probably end up swapping to that. The Easy Lap, which I'm not even really sure where I put the Easy Lap. Oh, I do. That Easy Lap, boy, let me tell you, that was an awful nice stone too. So, there's just an awful lot of really good stones that we're playing with here. So, long-term testing, and I only sharpen maybe a couple hundred knives a month, so it's going to take quite a while to get through, some long-term testing on these stones, but very, very exciting. Let's do the Smiths next. Now, the Smiths stones, the Smith stones were what? Well, here, I'll let you look. Just a whole bunch of stones here. Okay, so the Smith stones are the stones that introduced me to diamonds. This particular, well, not this particular one. I mean, I've had probably a dozen of these at least. But this style of sharpener. Okay, so these, you used to get them at Walmart for like 15 bucks, and you probably still do. I don't know. This is the last one I bought from Walmart. I want to smell. It was about 20 or so, but it's still got that really handy, its own carrying case sort of deal. Now, these stones, they do have the interrupted surface, which I'm not really all that fond of. But for this type of package right here, they work really good. I keep one of these in, the kitchen knife block here in the shop. They work great for, this is the one I usually grab to sharpen up the razor blades, or the utility blades in my razor knife, because the one that I've got, it's got the old school screw. So you actually have to unscrew this, take the two halves apart, swap the blade, put it back together, screw the screws back. By the time I get done with all that, I can touch the edge up on one of these, and it's just as fast, and the edges are probably a little bit sharper than what they come out of the factory. So I use these a lot. Interesting to note is that these used to, on the package, say a lifetime warranty, just like the Husky says lifetime warranty. Now, I never sent one back for the lifetime warranty even after I wore it out, because honestly I felt like I got enough value for my dollar that I didn't want to cost Smiths more money replacing them over and over again, because then that would, they'd end up having to raise the prices on everybody else. And it was one of those things that, I felt like I got enough value off of each one of them that, I'd just rather support the company and buy another one versus, taking advantage of them, with their lifetime warranty, even though they're the ones that were putting it out there, if you know what I mean. So I have had quite a few of these things. Now, I typically use just the 325 grit side. So when one of these things gets worn out, usually it's the 325 grit side's worn out, and the 600 or 700 grit side is still fairly fresh. So typically what I'll do is I'll just bust them apart. Okay, that's one of the sides here, because this is, you got the thin strip of metal that's got the diamonds on it. That gets glued to or molded to a plastic plate, and then that plastic plate gets molded to this larger plastic plate, and then the same thing on the other side. Well, when these are worn out, or when the 325 grit side, when they're worn out, then I'll just bust the 600 to the 700 grit side off. And then you can use these as little pocket stones. You can throw them in a hunting pack, you can throw them in a tackle box, wherever you need, a handy little stone every once in a while. These also do have the little grooves right there for sharpening fishing hooks. And then they have a part right here that's flat, that's clean, that doesn't have the holes in it. And you can use that for sharpening like little bitty chisels, or like maybe the point of your knife, because a lot of times the point will catch up. You see how it's kind of stopping and starting there? So that's because it's catching inside those the little holes there. So if you have a problem with that, then you can just go to that part that doesn't have the holes and clean your tips up. And it works out pretty good. Smith's also sells these, like I said, these right here are the ones that I've had the most of. But they also sell these awesome little oval sharpening steels, all right? Now, I don't typically like a sharpening steel in the kitchen because that smooth surface of a sharpening steel takes all the tooth out of your edge, okay? It's kind of like stropping. Yes, it brings, it'll have an edge that's kind of damaged, like, say like this. Well, it'll line it back up and make it feel sharp again, but at the same time, it takes the teeth out of the very edge. So you can take like a 325 grit edge that's got nice toothy, it's very aggressive, that sort of deal. And let's say, you've used it for a week or so, or, you dropped it on the corner of the sink and it kind of dinged the edge up a little bit. You can take a steel and line that edge back out, and it'll bring the edge back together, but then it'll glass it out. Okay, so then that edge, while it might be lined up, it won't cut near as aggressive as what it would if you just repaired it on a stone. Well, these things right here are kind of a combination. So you get the nice, easy to hold shape and everything, but you've still got that diamond surface on there. And it is the interrupted type surface. So that's a really nice, like if you're butchering a lot, this right here will work really, really good if you're, working up cows or sheep or whatever, because that will take, it'll realign the edge, but also sharpen it a little bit in between full sharpenings on the stone. This stone right here, I don't believe that they offer it anymore. This is their big one, the 325 grit. It's 2.5 by like 12, 11.5. This stone is, now it was worn out a long, long time ago, and about the only thing I do with this stone anymore is I use it to clean up my water stones. Because it's got that interrupted surface. That interrupted surface works really, really good on, cleaning up, your diamond or your water stones at the sink. Because it's got such a long area right there, you get a little bit more stroke when you're resurfacing those stones, and that's all I use this for. So now this one right here, we'll wipe some of the trash off the face of it. We won't get an unboxing. You won't get to hear, because these have, I've used them enough, so they're kind of broke in, so the loose diamonds and everything are gone. But I can let you listen to to what they sound like. You hear that? There's no catching. There's no loose diamonds on there. Now there might be some way up in here, because this part up close to the handle you can't really get to very much. But that's what they sound like when they're broke in a little bit. So now we'll go ahead, and like I said, this one's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months old, something like that. So we should get a pretty nice edge on this. But remember, it was pretty well, I mean, it was already sharp before. So we're just going to bring it to a burr, swap the burr to the other side, refine it, shear it, and then take some hair off my arm. So I've already to a burr on that side. Now you can tell. Now see, that doesn't sound near as aggressive as, say, this that last one, the Husky. Okay, so this is the 600 grit new Husky. Hear how that sounds? Now this is a broke-in Smith's 325. See the difference? Or hear the difference? Okay, now we'll start, we got a burr and then moved it to the other side. Now we're going to start lightening up our pressure, reducing the number of strokes in between the time that we flip the blade. Now we're really going to lighten it up. Now wipe the trash off on our blue jeans here, shear that burr off. See them hairs just popping off of there? They're actually jumping out of the way. They're so scared. Now, if you can shave on one side, but you can't shave on the other side, then that means you still have a burr. And what's happening is if you can shave going this way, but you can't shave going this way, okay, then that means that burr, see, if you can shave this way, that means that burr is kind of curled down on this side. So it's shaving on this side, but then when you go to this side, it's curled up. So it's not actually catching the hair. So all you got to do is take another couple of shearing strokes to get rid of whatever burr is left on there, and then you should be able to shave cleanly on both sides. So these Smiths, oh, they do sell. They're still selling, larger bench stones like this. They're just not quite this big. And it's been quite a while since I bought a new one of those, just because I don't really like that interrupted type surface. So while I really like the stones and I really like them in this configuration, and even in the sharpening steel kind of configuration, that interrupted surface bugs me enough that I really won't buy one of these to use as a normal bench stone. If you don't mind the bench stone with the interrupted surface like that, these are really good stones. One thing I forgot to mention is that this one does have, a larger spot that doesn't have the interrupted surface for working on tips. Not only tips like points, but also like on a chef's knife, where you've got that heel, and that can be a pretty big, that catches inside these holes quite a bit also. Well, you can use that to sharpen up that heel right quick, just like a normal bench stone. So anyway, the Smiths, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, they're an excellent value. They're very, very handy just for working here on the bench top for sharpening utility blades, your pocket knife, or whatever you got to sharpen. And then, like I said, when I wear out the 325 grit side, I typically break off the finer side and then throw them in tackle boxes, glove boxes, give them away, wherever you're going to need a small, handy little fine stone. So the Smiths are pretty awesome stones. For me, they're not really a bench stone, but they are a handy, everywhere else type of stone. And they produce really good edges, really fast. I mean, you saw that one, a couple of minutes, and bam, we have an edge that's not only taking hair off of each of my arms, but popping them off. And you saw how fast it worked. So again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.